All right, Jabosai, good morning. Let us continue. We are picking up on page Kuf Pei Beis at the end of the page. Umefarish Hasam. So remember again, still in the middle of Chassidus and still focusing on all these different manifestations of Chassidus. Umefarish Hasam, and we learned over there as well, he quotes over here another Gemara. Ki hadrafun. Supposed to remember again, the examples that he's been quoting have been of these great rabbeim, these great rabbinic personalities who were going above and beyond, either in their relationship with Hashem, their relationship with their fellow man, and these, of course, are examples of the midah of Chassidus, a willingness not just to check the box and fulfill the basic obligation, but a willingness to ultimately go above and beyond expectations. He gives another example over here, and this is quite beautiful. Umefarish Hasam, we learned there, Ki had Rav Huna dari mara akasvei. So an interesting case. Rav Huna was once carrying a shovel on his shoulder. Why was Rav Huna carrying a shovel on his shoulder? Because he was a farmer, right? That's ultimately again what occurred here. Again, he worked during the day. So Rav Huna, when I was carrying a shovel on his shoulder, also Rav Chana bar Chanilai, the Kadari Mine, Rav Chana bar Chanilai saw that Rav Huna was carrying the shovel, and Rav Chana bar Chanilai wanted to take it from him. Okay, as a sign of deference. This is so beautiful. So Rav Huna says to him, Amar lei, I ragelos de daris b'masach dari. V'ilo, so he said to him like this. So this is Rav Huna now saying to Rav Chana bar Chanilai, if in your city you normally carry a shovel on your shoulder, in other words, if in your locale it's not beneath your dignity, not beneath your kavod to carry a shovel, then fantastic. However, v'ilo, if you would not normally carry a shovel in your hometown, is yakuri ana bezilusa didach lo nechali. I have no interest in propelling or amplifying my own honor at the expense of yours. Such an incredible sensitivity and interaction. So Rav Huna very much appreciated, of course, the gesture by Rav Chana bar Chanilai, a willingness to take the shovel, but Rav Huna was not going to allow his honor to be built up while simultaneously going ahead and diminishing someone else's. So if in your city you normally carry a shovel, fantastic, thank you for the help. But if you would not normally do this in your hometown, I cannot allow you to do this on my behalf. He goes on. Harilanu. So what do we see from all of this? Shafapi shemashmaos beklon chavero hu hamishtada levazos chavero. So remember again, this goes back to something we learned yesterday, that the Gemara quoted the statement of Rav Nechunya. Right? They asked Rabbi Nechunya, how have you merited longevity? And Rabbi Nechunya said, I never went ahead and built my own honor upon the degradation of my fellow. So normally, we'll say the way we understand that statement to mean is that sometimes we see this unfortunately all the time, that the way people build themselves up is how? By knocking down others. That's what it is. If I push you down, then ultimately, again, I feel better about myself. And the truth is, as everyone knows, it's much less work to make yourself feel better by pushing someone else down than it is to make yourself feel better through personal accomplishment. Personal accomplishment requires a lot more effort. So Rabbi Nechunya said, I never amplified my own honor through degrading someone else. So when we normally hear that, again, we think about that in an active negative way. I never insulted, hurt, diminished someone so as to de facto build myself up. But from the Chassid's perspective, Hine la Chassidim lo yeos lekabel kavod afilu im chaveruhu haba umisratze bazeh im yihye bazeh bizayin lechavero. I would say, but you see from the Chassid takes a different interpretation of this. Of course, the Chassid is not going to insult or hurt or actively diminish someone else in order to build himself up. But more than that, he's not going to allow someone else to display him honor if that very display of honor degrades the person who is performing it. So we'll say, so again, that was what was happening over here. Rav Huna is carrying the shovel. Would Rav Huna like help with his shovel? Sure. Who wouldn't like help with their shovel? And Rav Chanilai and Rav Chana bar Chanilai, I'm sure, was making a very genuine gesture to help. But at the end of the day, Rav Huna was not going to allow his kavod to be served at the expense of Rav Chana Bar Chaniloi. That's a chassid. I'm not going to build up my kavod at your expense. He goes on. Both I think this is probably the greatest thing that we've learned up until this point. Rabbi Zera said, I never got angry in my home. I never got angry in my home. It doesn't like, I never got angry in my home today, right? Or in the last 25 minutes, right? I never got angry in my home. That's a chassid. Oh, so isn't that incredible? Not, a person can learn through Shas 15 times. That doesn't necessarily make you a chassid. What makes you a chassid? I never got angry in my house. I never got angry with my mishpacha, with those who are closest to me. And I never went ahead. I never walked in front of someone who was greater than me. Rather, I always allowed for that person to go first. I never thought about Torah in unclean alleyways. Unclean alleyways. I never walked 4 amas without wearing Torah, without wearing tefillin or learning Torah. This is a big one. This is a big one. I never fell asleep in shul. I never fell asleep in shul or in the Beis Medrash. Not a nap, or not like a gezunta shlof, right? Nothing. I never slept in shul, never slept in the Beis Medrash. I never rejoiced over the stumbling of my friend. I never rejoiced over just the misfortune of another. And I never called my friend by a nickname. So I'll say, so again, remember, all the Ramchal is doing is quoting all of these examples is this is Chassidus. And I will say it's amazing when you begin to see what Chassidus is and what Chassidus isn't. Right? What Chassidus, see, we often think about Chassidus in terms of heightened learning, in terms of chumrus, but you begin to see, again, like we've said over and over and over again, that the chassid is someone who goes above and beyond, specifically in the realm of relationships, in the realm of his relationship to Hashem, in the realm of his relationship to his fellow man. So here again, I will say you have Rabbi Zera. I never got angry. I never walked in front of someone who was greater than me. I never thought about Torah in unclean places. Right? I will say, what does that show? That shows a reverence for Torah. I never walked more than 4 amos without Torah and tefillin, which means I made sure that my life was infused with holiness at every single step. What does it mean? I will say, all kidding aside, that I never fell asleep in shul, I never fell asleep in the Beis Medrash. I'll say what that's saying is, I took advantage of my life opportunities. Right? A lot of times you just sleep through opportunities. When I'm in shul, when I'm in the Beis Medrash, I'm talking to God, I'm learning Torah, golden opportunity. I never dozed through that. Ultimately, again, I never rejoiced at the misfortune of my friend because I spent my energy building myself up through dynamic activity, so I did not have to feel built up through the misfortunes and the missteps of others. I never called my friend by a nickname because sometimes even if people say they don't mind the nicknames, they really do. And so I never wanted to do anything that in any way made my friend feel negative about himself. So therefore, says Ramchal, all of these dramatic expressions ultimately of the midah of Chassidus going above and beyond the realm of our relationships. All right, so stop over here. We'll pick up Emirat Hashem with the rest of this chapter, Emirat Hashem, on Monday.